guys, thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel to watch another one of my fashion stylist tutorials. So I know you've clicked on this tutorial because you want to find out how you can get published. So if you want to find out how you can get published and what to do with the publication afterwards, stay tuned. So before we begin to cover how we can get published, I think it's really important to also talk about why it's important to get published and, to be honest, what being published means specifically to me. So I've mentioned this before many times. Being published, in my opinion, levels you up as a stylist. When you can say that you are a published stylist, it definitely gives you some credentials. Being published also sets the tone of your portfolio. As I've mentioned before in my building a portfolio video, it's really important that where you get published, or the editorials that you do, and even the test shoots that you do, you gear it towards what the tone of your portfolio is. They see that your work is out there. It sets a really good tone, especially for your website or wherever you're actually displaying your work, whether it be social media or even your blog. I've also found that the more publications I get, the more frequent clients actually do come. So it's really kind of important to add that to your portfolio. So I really want to guide you, especially what I'm doing this year. Keep consistently trying to fit in some editorial. Although, like in my Finances Explained video, there isn't really much money in editorial, but it definitely does get your name out there. Being published is really important for me because it really kind of stretches you. Because actually, when you work with different magazines, they're going to be working with different customers, they're going to be working with different themes, different concepts, and it really does stretch you as a stylist, and it really does stretch your portfolio in terms of diversity. When you're doing a test shoot, it's a possibility of doing the same thing over and over again, but when it comes to an editorial, especially a published editorial, these magazines want to see something fresh, something new, something that hasn't been seen before. So it's a really good way of kind of stretching your creativity, and it's a really good way of testing out the creative skills that you've really got. For me, there is three main ways that you can get published. The first one is magazine. So with a magazine, whether it be print or digital, there are two ways that you can actually get your work published. Now, this could be through a submission or it could be through a commission. Again, I speak about this in my Building a Portfolio video. So definitely head over there if you want to know a little bit more about this in depth. When it comes to a submission shoot, that's usually based on a test basis. So this is where you do an editorial and you actually give it to the magazine, and then they will choose whether or not they want to publish it. There's no prior agreement for them to publish it. It's just a good way of you having a concept, whether it's a test shoot or whatever it is that you've done, and you just decide to submit it to a magazine. Second way is what I call the golden ticket. So this is the commission letter way. This is where you get a commission letter. It is an agreement with you and the magazine, where the magazine says this stylist is definitely going to be styling an editorial for this issue, and they may even put in depth the theme or whatever it is, and it's basically a golden ticket for PRs and designers, because that way it's like, this is definitely going in, it's not on a whim, your clothes are definitely going to get published. I found as a stylist, whenever you're going to get your work published, the best person to contact is the fashion editor or the beauty editor, depending on what sort of editorial that you want to actually give to the magazine or that you want to create for the magazine. contact that person. And again, it all takes research. If you want any tips on how you can actually search for people, or how to call them, or how to email, head over to my video on how to pull from clients and how to email brands, because that is going to really help you when it comes to contacting someone that is new. I found that it's very rare for me to contact an editor and actually get some commissioned work from them or to submit to them, but it has happened. So it's really good to keep that relationship going on for future work. But the majority of work that I've ever had published, it usually is through the photographer. So a team usually would rely on the photographer to actually submit the work to the magazine. I've also found that even for makeup artists, that it's easier for them to actually contact magazines and get commission letters and also submit work to them, especially when it comes to fashion editorials, because the person you are submitting it to is a fashion editor and they actually fashion style as well. I found sometimes it literally is a little bit of a clash. Definitely what I'm doing is I'm trying to break down this barrier. I'm trying to break down this whole competitive vibe that is actually in the fashion industry. You know, I really feel like there's room for all of us. So sometimes you do have to kind of play the game a little bit, which is why, yeah, I kind of leave it to the photographer to kind of give it to magazines, especially if it is on a submission basis. So the second way to get published is through commercial work. Now, commercial work can cover TVs, adverts, lookbooks, music videos. Oh gosh, there's so many to kind of pick from, but commercial work is definitely one of my favorite fields to work in. A lot of my commercial work comes from word of mouth, or it is clients who actually contact me directly. So as I've spoken about in my building a portfolio video, it's really important that you consistently put out work, and it's really important that you consistently publish yourself, and it's really important that you market yourself, and it's really important to try and have those, you know, those published editorials out there and circulating, because that is when brands will pick you up. That is when people will see you. That is when you will be stuck in people's minds. So that's the best way to kind of build your clientele and to build your portfolio of published work, including commercial. And lastly, which kind of merges in with commercial, it is celebrity published work. This can also involve editorial, PR shots, which are press shots. It could also involve street style, red carpet and events. All of that is a form of being published. Now, in terms of getting celebrity clients, in my opinion, again, it is about consistent work. They do generally want to see a good body of work, especially published work. And I also find that they will look for their own style sometimes in your work. So if you like particular celebrities and you want to push for one, even pitch yourself for one, because it has been done. I would recommend that you do some shoots which kind of embody that person's style, and then you could even pitch with that. I also do client mood boards, which I've spoken about before. I'm so sorry I haven't done a video on that yet, but it will be coming. But also doing client mood boards can also help you pitch to get celebrity clients, and therefore that will lead to being published. Being published, it isn't rocket science. It's really quite simple. It literally is just about communicating with a magazine to try and get a commission letter or submitting it to the magazine. Again, like I've said before, try and aim for the photographer to be the person to pitch it. Even if it's your idea, even if it's your mood board, try and aim for the photographer who is like the head of the team to actually pitch it. And when it comes to commercial work, to get that sort of published work, again, it is about experience. Brands are going to want someone with experience. So if you're not getting your commercial work yet, please just be patient and honestly build your body of work, build your portfolio. Again, it's not always that way. Sometimes people just get commercial clients straight away. You can also build your portfolio by actually doing a lot of e-com work. There are agencies who actually work specifically with e-com work, anything that's e-commerce, which is like product shots which are on models or on mannequins, anything like that. even building a body of work, something like that, where it's like flat lay, all of that sort of stuff. That can also help with getting commercial clients. So build your portfolio in a sense of doing a lot of that. I will be doing a video on e-commerce, so stay tuned for that. And then again, in terms of celebrity publications and celebrity published work, it is about having a strong body of work. Sometimes it's even a word of mouth. So it's really good to build relationships in the industry with really good people and to, yeah, get your work out there. So you've got your published work and now you're wondering, what are you going to do with it? So I believe there are about 3 ways in which you can really promote yourself. First off is the one that I think all of us should aspire to, which is your website. Now don't be in a rush for your website, because it's really important that you kind of get it right. It's nice when you decide to build a website that you have a good body of work. Websites are really important though, because it is a good place for people to go to see your work. It is a professional environment with nothing else knocking about, just strictly your work. They can go to your website and see exactly what they need to see. Make sure on your website that you categorize properly. Make sure that your published work also is in a section, because that's really good. People are going to want to go to that published page and just look at all the different publications that you've got. I'm really bad. I need to update my website. I have so much work that I have not put out there. So please join me. Make that decision this year to kind of update it. Don't be afraid to continually rejig it, because sometimes you may really love an editorial and then you find 2 months down the line you've done a really great one, so you want to then maybe like shift it and put that one in instead. And unless it's absolutely outstanding, it's not that necessary to put all of your work on your website. So the second place that you could use, which I used for quite some time, is your blog. Now, even if you actually haven't got any published work or you haven't done any test shoots yet, I've always encouraged you guys to actually build a blog for yourself. A platform where you can show your sense of style, your work. I really would love you to mix it up though. Do like some articles, write about it, do some like flat lay, do some like outfits together, and even some get the looks. But all of that early on in my career when I didn't start styling yet, it really did help with people understanding my sense of style. And thirdly, it is your social media, which I feel is just amazing, especially when it comes to picture-based social media platforms like Instagram. A lot of my clients have come to me through Instagram. Instagram is amazing. It is a place for your portfolio. So take advantage of social media platforms, even places like Model Mayhem early in my career. When I didn't have my website, I was actually using that. I was using Facebook. I opened a Facebook page where I would promote my work and, you know, use these platforms. They're there. It's free marketing. So make sure you're using the right hashtags. Make sure that you are posting with intention. Make sure you're not just posting any and everything. Post and make sure that that post is a really good. Sometimes I've seen people just post and the quality is not that great. People want something that catches their eyes. And make sure that, especially when it comes to Instagram, make sure that you're posting in groups of 3s. Everything is in 3s in rows, so make sure that you are posting in 3s, and make sure that the colors are clean, make sure that there is a theme, you know, all of that. Make sure that the branding is also involved in whatever you're putting out on your social media. So I'm really hoping that you guys did enjoy this video, and I'm hoping that it's helped you in some way. If there's anything that I didn't actually cover in this video, please do comment below and I will answer it as best as I can. Also guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also share my content so it can help somebody else. And don't forget also to subscribe to my channel. That's most important. Your support means everything to me, and make sure that you press that bell so you can stay updated with all of the content that I have coming out. If you've had any published work, please do get in touch. I really want to see what you guys have been up to, and I definitely want to see the help that I've been giving. It's really motivating for me when I see the work that you guys have been doing. So please do stay in touch and let me know what you guys have been up to. This year is going to be a great year for you guys, and it's going to be full of published work, and I hope to see you guys soon in my next video. But until then, goodbye.